Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Hello everybody, welcome back. It's time for another quick battle. Today is going to be my unstoppable M60A1 on Normandy. This battle is from 28 May 2017, and at that point I was still grinding for the T95E1, so this was newly after the 1.69 patch had come out. So I was able to drive my Americans again for a little bit until I finished the T95E1, and then went back to the painful British grind. I am now back over to the American grind, in fact, because there was one tank left after the T95E1 that I didn't have yet, so... Hint, it'll be soon, but it's not done with research yet. Alright. So we're rolling up into the town of Normandy here, or this town in Normandy. It's not the town of Normandy, since Normandy's the region, but that's beside the point. And just to prove that I don't always just go blindly charging in and bum rush the cap on every single battle, I'm going to pull up here and stop and just hold this position for a while and just camp on the square a little bit, the churchyard, see if anybody wanders in front of me. Because we've got time to do that, because it's a battle map. There's no pressure to go get the enemy cap and start the ticket bleed, or to stop them from causing a ticket bleed on our side. And that is why I always go after the cap, if it's not a battle map. So if you're ever wondering, there it is. I've explained it about 150 times before, but there it is, 151. Anywho, not much happens while I'm here hiding out on the capture, or on the churchyard rather. So it's not a terribly exciting initial part to the battle. And I'm going to get bored before too long and go looking for trouble. Now we've got quite a lot of our team to the south of me and up in the hills, so I'm going to roll on forward and see what I can find up north, more towards the beach, because that's also where the capture point is, and eventually I will of course go for the capture point. Now at this point I still didn't have Heat FS for my M60A1. I do have it now, but I did have Hesh, and that's not a terrible substitute. It's pretty good in most cases, although APDS and Heat FS are pretty good for fighting against the Germans. However, Hesh is pretty good for fighting the Russians, as you can see with the amount of damage I put on that T-55A, and then he got taken out and there's an assist. Not that I wasn't disappointed or anything. I didn't want to have to face a return shot from him by any means, so I was fine with that. I hadn't encountered too many T-55s up to that point. Now this was actually pretty funny. Look at this RU-251 camped down in the water. I'm not sure if his engine was out that deep, or if he was just hiding out there. I think his engine must have been out. He must have gotten out a little too deep and lost his engine. I'm not sure, but either way, he lost his crew at the same time, shortly after, so... There's one down, and then I couldn't quite get the gun on that BSU-57 going by, and by the time I could even start getting the tank moving forward to go after him, he'd been taken out, so that's also fine. Come around the corner, there's a nice, obvious IS-4 here. I missed my shot pretty badly and did not hit his upper or lower front plate with my Hesh round, but I had time to back off and reload and roll up again and hope I'd get a better shot on him, and for some inexplicable reason, he's turned away facing the other direction. I'm not sure. He must not have been looking when he took the hit, must have thought it came from behind him. But it works for me. And no sooner do I come around the corner than there's a leopard waiting, and thankfully he only damaged my track, because by rights he really should have had me there. Well, thankfully he didn't get the best shot he wanted, and my Hesh actually took him out in one shot, which I wasn't expecting either. But it did. Now I noticed the M551 that just got killed. I knew where he was coming up behind me, so as I roll around the path here looking for his killer, sure enough, there he is, Panther 2, rolling down the road. and get another one-shot kill on him. And there's my 4th kill. Now I can hear somebody up here. Sure enough, there he is. It's a leopard, and he must have been down a crew member already, because I only killed 2 of his crew, and that was enough to knock him out. So I think he must have been down one. Because that wasn't the best shot I've ever made, but it happened to be in the right spot. So I guess sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and in this case I was definitely lucky that my shot hit right where 2 of his crew members were and knocked him out in one shot. And then I'm able to roll in on the capture points. Our team has got the map pretty well covered. I'm not sure how many of them are left at this point, but I know I've got a lot of friendlies nearby. Now, somebody calls out an AR-234 Charlie, and that's a concern. So I'm going to move around to where I can kind of hide out in the rocks a little bit and hopefully be able to dash out of the way if I hear bombs coming. Because a 234 Charlie is probably going to come and chase after me down here on their capture point. I certainly would. As it turns out, he doesn't, but that's why I moved over here, so I could at least get the heck out of the way. If I heard the whistle of death from above. Now you can see quite a lot of our team holding over the top of their spawn, and a few more holding down the beach, which I guess is okay, because there are still a couple of Germans and Russians left alive out there, but not that many. And eventually, finally, a couple guys do head over to join me at the cap after I've already got it halfway decapped. They finally realize that there's only 2 enemy team left. Maybe they should get in on this capture action. And there goes one of them now, a 109G who's just strafed out an M56. So, I'm tracking around trying to spot any sort of enemy aircraft up. There's one. It turns out they're both in airplanes, which is good for us, on the one hand, because they can't stop us from capping as easily, or they at least can't threaten our cap. They could stop us from capping if they had the right kind of ammunition, certainly. 30 mil or even 20 mil armor-piercing ammo to the top of an engine deck on most tanks is going to start a fire, and that's a problem. You get set on fire, you've got to put the fire out, and while you're putting that fire out, they tend to come back and hit you again a second time, and then usually a third time. Or you could be in an M18 like this guy, and then you're even more vulnerable to getting strafed out. Or you could be in an M163 and get strafed out. And as they said in chat, shame. Although, if they came in from behind or if they caught him at the spawn, I'm not sure. Now I was a bit concerned there, because I knew what one plane was, but I didn't know the second. And it turns out it was an Me-262, which can easily, with the right ammunition, do a lot of damage to an engine deck. And that's where he came in and shot me from, but I guess he didn't have the right ammo or he didn't hit me at the right angle. So thankfully he didn't set me on fire. And there it is, we get a capture. I decided to take a test shot on a destroyer and fall horribly short. But stopped wasting my time. I was going to range out a Hess shot just to see what it would do, but decided not to waste the time and just head up this way and see what I could find. There ends up not being anything left. Mostly just wanted to move so that there were no airplanes left to come strafe me. And that's going to do it. The unstoppable M60A1 had 5 kills, 1 assist, 1 capture, and no deaths, for a survivor rating and a bunch of other awards. So we'll check out the scores here. Not too bad at all. Fall just short of 10,000 research for vehicle research there, which brought me a pretty good closer to my T95E1, which I was able to finish shortly thereafter. First place on the team. Here's the team score. Not too bad by our team. We did pretty well. We didn't take a whole lot of losses. There's the kill readouts. And there's all the awards. And that'll do it. I hope you guys like this one. Relatively short video, short, sweet, to the point. We went in, we killed them all, we capped their point out, and we left and we won. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you soon for some more. Thanks for stopping by and checking this one out. Have a great day.